Everyone, welcome back to another episode of Alex the Explainer, and today's video is the last episode of relationships in nature. In this video, we'll talk about the last 3 examples of symbiotic relationships for this series, each one being a different type of symbiotic relationship: mutualism, commutualism, and finally, parasitism. The first relationship in nature we'll be talking about in this final episode will be about mutualism, and it's about ants and aphids. Ants are very social creatures. They're eusocial. They live in various colonies, and so they need a lot of nutrients and a lot of food to support these colonies. One way they get all their nutrition from is from aphids. Aphids eat certain parts of the plant that the aphid is on. Then they secrete and excrete what they cannot digest. They secrete a nice liquid known as honeydew. Ants love this stuff. There is actually a type of ant known as the honeypot ants, which store a lot of honeydew in their abdomens. If you saw one, they look pretty big. Here's a picture. That's pretty interesting. The next symbiotic relationship we'll be talking about is commutualism. This one's also very interesting as well. The commutualism symbiotic relationship is between remoras and sharks. Remoras have a mouth that's basically a suction cup in order to suck on and stick to certain sharks. Sharks are widely known as apex predators of their area. So, the remoras actually have protection from their predators because they stuck on to sharks. This is very interesting because the remoras are actually benefited by being protected by the sharks, but the sharks don't really get anything out of it. However, the relationship still exists. The last relationship in nature I'm going to be talking about in this episode is going to be about parasitism. It's very interesting as well. Parasitism is where one animal is benefited by a symbiotic relationship, but the other is harmed. In this case, it's between a type of parasitic worm and a snail. If a snail eats bird poop or whatever, it might have just ingested some eggs. These eggs may have hatched and went to its eye stalks. Worms in the snail's eye stalks begin to pulsate, and then the worm is actually kind of mind controlled to actually go into higher elevations up in the grass and vegetation. This attracts the attention of birds, who then, eat the snail and the parasitic worms. The worms lay eggs in the bird. Then the bird discharges the eggs and the other wastes as the form of, bird poop, and it falls to the ground where it would have been eaten by another snail, continuing this parasitic life cycle. So that was 3 different types of symbiotic relationships. These 3 types of symbiotic relationships are very interesting. Symbiotic relationships are very interesting because it's strange how 2 different creatures on the evolutionary family tree actually have something to do with each other, and they live with each other for a while. This is very interesting, as well as all the other relationships in nature, predator-prey relationships, and others. And so that was relationships in nature. So guys, bye guys, and stay Shrek-tastic.